Hi, welcome to Tonight with Jim Spaduasha. Tonight we have a very special guest, Miss Steph Palermo, and we'll be discussing very important topics like the afterlife and the Lord. Please welcome Steph Palermo.
Thank you for having me.
Hi Steph, how are
Hi.
you?
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Glad to have you. So, Steph, the world is very interested in your opinion on God, what God thinks, why he invented human beings, and things like that. Can we please start? Tell me what you think, since you are an acclaimed speaker, acclaimed book author, and the host of Girlfriends by Choice.
Did you have to bring all of that into play?
Yes, that's your accolades.
Okay, actually, I have more than that, but
Yes, there's
anyway,
much more. But we could
well,
go
we
on
would.
for hours.
Here's the discussion. So I was just talking to a friend of mine whose dad is in the hospital and having problems. So thank God, not life threatening, but anyway. And I said, why on earth, why in heaven would God create human beings with these bodies? Like, why? He could, now here, let's face facts. God is God, right? He could have just stopped inventing creatures at the dinosaurs, because he could just have like a T-Rex for a pet. Just pet it and everything be fine. You've never hurt God, it's God. Right?
I'm assuming the T-Rex would like God because he knows he's God.
Right.
Yes.
Well, because they know. Animals know their place.
True.
Human beings try to be God. Animals don't try to be God. They know where they are.
Right.
They are true to their nature. We're the only ones we're the only creatures that are not true to our nature. That's why on the mountain, when Moses asked the burning bush, who should I say that you are? And he says, I'm Yahweh. I am that which I am, which implies you are what you are not.
That's interesting because I've dealt with a couple of burning bushes before, but I digress. Continue.
I'm scared. Anyway, well, much like what...
red hair.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But even with St. Catherine of Siena, she writes in the dialogue, she's a doctor of the church, she says, God the Father says, I am he who is, you are she who is not. Because we don't live up to our true nature. So I think, okay, we have all these feeble bodies. They're sick, deformed, whatever, we're not perfect. We get all this, we get illnesses, I have this illness, I got all kinds of stuff going on. You have stuff.
Oh, me too.
You're gonzo. Look at my mother. Everybody's got a problem, right? Physically. And I'm thinking, why? Just stop. You made the angels. They're all having a ball. They're having a great time. Laughing. They're all singing, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, dancing around, having a good time.
Doing a tarantella.
They're probably doing the tarantella, maybe the electric slide. We don't know. The Cupid shuffle. I don't know, the wobble. Whatever they're doing, right? The hustle, right? The hustle. They're all up there having a ball. They don't need somebody to invent staying alive, because, or Tavares, heaven must be missing an angel. They're outside of time. They already know the music. They're already up there dancing. They're
Heaven on the 7th floor.
Right, heaven on the 7th floor. There you go, right? So now they're all having a good time. God's, the three divine persons from the beginning, because it says, from the beginning, all three are there. They're all having a good time, right? Now they get pets. They get the dinosaurs. They get some really cute long necks and the triceratops. They got a megalodon, right?
I have an interesting question.
What?
If God has a dog, does he have to take him out to walk him in like bad weather?
You know, that's a very good question. I think we should take that to the priests.
Because
Maybe-
right now they're having like 3 feet of snow home in Boston.
But I don't think God lives in Boston.
Oh, so they probably don't have snow in heaven?
Well, look at who the mayor
What about
is.
Christmas?
Well, look
You
at
must
who
have snow.
If they with that mayor, that God is not in Boston. And
Well, do they have snow in heaven? I mean, I would think at Christmas
they have a good
how's Santa
time.
Claus going to come with the
Whew.
sleigh?
Well, first of all, they don't need to celebrate Christmas if they don't. We're going back now, because Jesus is up there. They're all singing and dancing. They're holding
And then
hands.
he gets screwed out of a birthday, though.
Yeah, but think about it. No, he's happy. He didn't even get to hang on the cross. He's happy. He's going, he's saying, Dad, don't do it. Don't make those beings that have skin. They're going to be bad, and then I got to go down there and fix things. And you know what happens when I have to fix things?
You know, I thought it was bad when I had to go to work for my father's summers. I was just thinking of this. And he would kill me on the job, construction. Jesus had it worse with his father. Did he put him on a cross? So
See?
I guess I didn't have it so bad. Continue.
So now they have these nice pets, right? And they go along a little further. All right, you know what? You wanted a saber-toothed tiger. We got a nice tiger, right? Nice, cute little saber-toothed tiger, woolly mammoth. They're all set. Why do they have to? Now they got to make the Garden of Eden. Because God says, no, I'm bored. We need to shake things up. And
Well,
Jesus and the Holy Spirit are going, but Dad, what do you mean we need to shake things up? We got the angels over here singing. We got this band of angels. They got the brass. We got the percussion over here. We got the drums. We're all set. We got the dances. We're all set.
Well, actually, I want to hear your thoughts on the Garden of Eden. I have a thought on it, and I thought, if I look at it like this, it seems like Italy has all the churches, that's where the Pope is, everything else. So there's a good chance God could have been Italian. And being Italian, he probably wanted a garden. And that's how far he was going with it. But then he decided he didn't want to take care of the garden, so he got Adam and Eve to take care of the garden. But they didn't listen.
What he doesn't really,
What happens?
what he's not realizing is the Garden of Eden was set between the Tigris and the Euphrates River, which is Mesopotamia, which is in smack dab in, I think Iran or Iraq.
Well, they probably had great weather climate for a garden. That's why he picked it.
Yeah. So he
Okay,
did.
you continue.
I mean, I'm sure they had tomato plants and basil. There's no doubt. I mean, it was the garden.
Oh, and parsley.
Yeah, I wonder if they had like durum wheat Selena. But now he makes a garden.
Well, that would be the bakery. That's another story, but okay.
Well, they could still have the grains growing in the garden.
Ah, that's true.
Well, they'd have to work at this point because nobody sinned,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So now Jesus, the Holy
There
Spirit.
was no welfare. They had to work.
Well, they only had to work after the fall.
Mm.
They just skipped around,
Mm-hmm.
singing "Tiptoe Through the Tulips."
Mm.
They were skipping around, having a ball. But Jesus is saying, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and all the angels are going, Dad, don't do it. Daddy, don't do it. We know what you're doing. We got an idea. We don't know, but Jesus knew. Jesus knew. And he was saying, I know what you're doing, Dad, because we get the same mind. We're one person, one God, three divine persons. I know. And the Holy Spirit's going, I know he's doing it. He's doing it. And there, poof, he picks up the clay of the garden and he makes Adam. Now, he could just leave Adam alone. And Adam could just play with all the animals and have a good time. Because at this point, he had dominion over the animals. He named them all. He said, "Oh, that's a cat." I don't know how he named a shark, but because he was in the middle, but he wasn't in the ocean.
It's interesting because it goes back and on the there was an interview with the 2,000-year-old man with Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner, and it's interesting how he questioned him how words came about, and it was like for instance, shower. How did a shower come about? And he told him, he said, stop and listen to a shower. It goes, shh. And then turn the hot water up too much and went, ow, and shower. That's how shower came about. And I'll think of more, because this is going back a ways, but I do know this.
Okay, well, that really has nothing to do with the garden.
No, but it reminded me of it because
you mean like a caveman?
It's how words came about.
When the cavemen were around. But
yeah, there was.
Let's make a distinction here, and this is true. The Garden of Eden with Adam was modern man. Mm-hmm. Modern man. If there were cavemen, they came before. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume because you know what happens when you assume.
Making an ass out of you and me.
And maybe God, you never know if I'm trying to, but I'm not. I don't think they had a soul. I think it's modern man. Mm. Okay? That's what I think the teaching is. Modern
I think
man.
Mel Brooks had a soul. Okay.
Well, no, but I'm not talking about in the movie.
Oh.
So, in the Garden of Eden, he could have just stopped with Adam. But that
decided to screw him over and give him a woman. Then he had to give
here's what happened. He got lazy.
Probably had to give a child support,
everything. Adam was lazy. He couldn't keep anything clean. He couldn't find anything. He didn't know where anything was, where anything went. He was confused about so many things. And he could never find the clicker. He didn't know it. He just was lost. He was lost. He didn't know how to cook. He didn't know what to do with all this beautiful food. He just was, and then he didn't want to learn and he could never find his way anywhere. He wouldn't take directions from the animals, nothing.
Yeah, but you know what? Better than a woman. Wouldn't you think a Chinese houseboy would have fit in fine?
Or maybe a cabana boy?
You know?
A Chinese houseboy, only if he was Epstein. But anyway, Jeffrey Epstein. But no, he was bored and he was lazy and he couldn't get anything done. He couldn't find his way through the garden because he couldn't take direction from God. He wouldn't take direction from anybody. Men cannot take directions, and he couldn't find anything. Didn't know where anything was, didn't know how to cook, didn't know what to do with the basil, the tomato, nothing. He couldn't make a sauce, nothing. Well, you know, it was he was, first of all, he's probably Iranian or Iraqi and whatever he was because it's Middle East. Persian, let's call him, whatever he was. He didn't know how to cook. So anyway.
Yeah, because they weren't terrorists, they were Persian.
Well, right now there's no sin. Everybody's tiptoeing through the tulips. There's no war, there's none of that.
I see.
This is the garden. Oh,
you have very advanced thoughts. Can we talk about your drink, how it gets you to that?
I don't need the drink to get to that. But let's get to Eve, shall we?
Eve.
Maybe we should take a little break because it's a long video.
Yes, we're going to go to a commercial.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in 60 seconds.